my name is Jen Crook, and I'm a candidate for the Master of Educational Technology program here at Boise State University, and this is my final ePortfolio reflection. I have spent the better part of my adult life at home raising our 4 children. When my youngest daughter started kindergarten, I knew that it was time for me to move into the professional world and start work on my graduate studies. That year, I also became employed part-time at our elementary school as a small group reading instruction specialist. I became very passionate about reading instruction and comprehension as it is the foundation of all learning. I graduated from Utah State University in 1996 with a bachelor's degree in early childhood education. 16 years later, in 2012, I began my journey towards a graduate degree. I lived in Utah at the time and had chosen a Master of Education program at Weber State University. After completing a semester of teaching 6th grade, and with only 2 final classes remaining in the master's program, our family had to make a difficult and drastic decision to move to Meridian, Idaho, in an effort to help our struggling teenager with his mental health issues. This move is what prompted my decision to essentially start over in a new graduate program. I started the MET program here at Boise State in August of 2014, and yes, that was just 4 short semesters ago. I was giddy with excitement because our family loves Boise State football, and I love technology. Win-win. Despite living only 15 miles from the great BSU campus, our school district is dismal at best when it comes to technology. In our current elementary school, each classroom has 3 computers, and students go to the computer lab for a grand total of 30 minutes a week. There is 1 classroom set of iPads to be shared with the entire school, so each class might get the iPads 1 day a month if they're lucky. Due to poor bandwidth, only 15 students can be working simultaneously online without being disconnected. So while these are discouraging circumstances, technology is truly in its infancy in this area, and the timing couldn't be more perfect as I head into the professional realm with my newly acquired skills. I feel that I have something to offer that this district has never been able to experience before, and I'm excited for what the future holds, even if I have no idea what that might look like yet. My coursework through the MET program, although intense and fast-paced, has been a very gratifying experience. I have taken a great many classes that have enriched my personal life, and I know will enrich it professionally when the time comes. EdTech 504 is a course I had previous knowledge from. The difference in this course was that it focused on integrating technology into learning theory. In the past, I have been drawn to Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. As I've spent time with a variety of students with all kinds of learning styles, it's apparent to me that differentiation best meets the needs of multiple learning styles. As it came time to design the project-based learning project for EdTech 542, I knew that I wanted to incorporate some of these ideas about learning theories that I had researched in EdTech 504. Robert Sternberg's triarchic theory of intelligence is similar to Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory and predicts that as intelligent people we will know our own strengths and weaknesses. This knowledge helps us to make the most of our strengths and to compensate for our weaknesses. Through my experience in teaching kindergarten specifically and working with all ages of elementary age children, I have found that students have already identified the subjects and areas that they are most interested in and are good at. It only takes a short time in the classroom to notice the students who are confident in front of a crowd versus the students who are too shy to answer a question. Similarly, there are students that enjoy working alone versus those that thrive in a collaborative group setting. So as I designed the PBL project, I wanted to make sure that there were a variety of activities that allowed students to showcase their strengths while practicing and gaining confidence in their weaknesses. The project includes art, writing, research, collaborative work, presentation practice, a field trip, self-reflection, and peer evaluations. After studying animal habitats and a trip to the zoo, students will be creating a detailed model of a newly invented animal and its habitat, as well as a physical representation to show other groups and classes. This activity will also involve reflection and research writing. The ultimate goal is to create an animal that can outlive all other animals without becoming extinct. The PBL project was an elaborate project to design, but the end result was gratifying, and I've already had the opportunity to share it with some of my third grade colleagues. So far, the feedback from these teachers has been positive, and they are excited to put this PBL project to practice later this year. EdTech 502 was probably the most terrifying class when it first started. Coding a website? That was so daunting. In this class, I learned to create a website using Dreamweaver, HTML, and CSS. I quickly came to realize that I was able to use some of my prior graphic design skills and creativity, which turned out to be a lot of fun. My favorite artifact was creating the virtual field trip, Our Nation's Capital. Created for 8th grade students as per Common Core standards, this virtual field trip visited multiple famous landmarks around the Washington, D.C. area, including the Capitol Building, famous monuments, the Smithsonian Institute, and Arlington National Cemetery. Each stop or web page was created with an identical layout design to show consistency through navigation. The home page has a downloadable worksheet for students to answer their questions on. Each page includes an introduction, instructions, questions to answer along with the links to where they can find their answers, extra links for lesson extension activities and whole class discussions, an interactive Google map, a video, and a slideshow of photographs. This was a very rewarding lesson and prompted me to want to create more, especially during this time while I am not working outside of my home. The desire to publish the virtual field trip created in EdTech 502 led me to consider this as my project for evaluation in EdTech 505. By surveying actual students, I found that they really enjoyed this learning activity. The teachers' surveys results offered me many suggestions and ways to make it better, but also those aspects that they already thought worked well. It was rewarding for me to hear that 100% of my teachers that I surveyed felt that this was an engaging and meaningful method of delivering instruction on this particular topic, and that they would welcome the opportunity to use it in their classroom. EdTech 541 is where things got really exciting as I began one of the 2 needed courses for the Technology Integration Specialist Graduate Certificate. This was a grueling course and one that I actually take great pride in, as I'm sure I spent more than double the weekly hours on each assignment. I took each assignment very seriously, and I was really driven to create meaningful and useful content. As I have gone through the MET program, I have tried my hardest to connect my passion of reading instruction and comprehension skills. That passion has been the basis for nearly all of my artifacts in one way or another. For the content choice activities in 541, I chose to create multiple lessons with a central theme of life on the Oregon Trail, as per Grade 4 Common Core standards. But these lessons are still very heavily focused on language arts. Each lesson includes student objectives, activity directions, along with all of the necessary links and components to teach this lesson. Many teachers choose to teach this unit using a simulation activity, and they divide their students into wagon families. The students are required to outfit their wagons and keep a diary daily of their activities while traveling west. It's a comprehensive unit of study and generally takes several weeks to complete. The ebook diary was a fun activity I created using mixbook.com. Instead of simply creating a handwritten diary as many classrooms do, for this lesson students are going to create their diary in an ebook format, complete with photos, sketches, and other artistic artifacts that they may find as they research primary source documents. Content choice number 2 activity focused on social studies. In this lesson, students are taught the difference between primary and secondary source documents and where to find them. This lesson also introduced students to Google Maps, where they could compare and contrast modern-day map technology with that found from the 1800s. Content choice number 3 integrated art, music, and PE into this Oregon Trail theme. I not only created a fun interactive flyer using S'more, but also had a blast researching songs and games from the Oregon Trail time period. I have no doubt that children can learn about the past and have a great time doing it. Each lesson meets multiple Common Core standards as well as provides many diverse methods of teaching and education as per Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. Through all of these content choice activities, it was my mission to create content for a subject that often gets forgotten in the daily curriculum, and that is social studies, art, music, and physical education. While there are standards for each of these subjects, teachers are still faced with teaching and mastering content that will be tested on at the end of the year. The only way to truly get some of these forgotten subjects into the curriculum is through integration. Integrating art, music, PE took a little bit more creativity on my part, but ultimately still proved to be relatively easy to integrate into language arts. I also had the fortunate experience to have a 4th grade daughter during the time I was in this class, and it was a lot of fun to be able to share these activities with her teacher, who will in turn integrate them into her Oregon Trail unit next year. Now, some people have asked me what I'm going to do with all of these great lessons that I've created if I'm not working in the school setting right now. And the answer is simple. I'm going to share everything I've created free of charge with my colleagues. I'm going to start with those teachers that I know personally and then allow them to share with their colleagues. Eventually, I would like to publish each lesson on Teachers Pay Teachers, free of charge, as a way to share my efforts. If these activities and lessons never see the light of day in the classroom, then I have gone to an awful lot of work for nothing. This journey, albeit very intense and condensed, has been such a gratifying experience. While I am unsure what the future holds for my family or for my professional career, I know that I am a better person for having completed this program, and I know that my children can say with confidence that their mother is smart. I was the first in my family to go to and graduate from college, and I will be the first to obtain further higher education. I feel that it is my responsibility to set the standard high for the generations that will follow me. While I have been unable to have a career outside of the home for the past 20 years, I have a passion for education, and my greatest desire is to prove to my children that we can all do hard things. Since that very beginning semester in 2012, I have maintained a 4.0 grade point average, and this is proof that anyone can be successful if they want it bad enough. Even while we were dealing with some of the most difficult circumstances at home, my education is what kept me sane. I take the EdTech mission seriously. I feel that I have become empowered to be an evolving digital citizen who can now go forward and advocate cultural understanding and global responsibility. Thank you so much for taking the time to consider me as a Master of Educational Technology candidate. It has been an honor and a privilege to work with the caliber of peers and professors in such a fantastic program. Thank you.